So, Jamie, you
Yeah.
lead three very similar but very different cool events: Intimate Relating Games Night, Tantric Temple Night, which I'm going to be attending for the first time next week, and Tantra Speed Dating, which I've attended 3 times and had a blast at.
I think anyone who's interested in authentic connecting and potentially meeting people to have common interests with or even date and to work on your skills of flirting and connecting with the not necessarily the opposite sex, but who you want to date.
Any of these events would be great for them.
Yeah, exactly. What I love about the intimate relating games night is that there's no spiritual woo-woo stuff. It's just stripped down. This is a really fun and exciting way to slow things down, to become more aware of how you relate to yourself and how you relate to other people.
When Jamie says stripped down, by the way, she meant it's a close-on event. We explore non-sexual intimacy. It's stripped down in terms of the basics of, boundaries, consent, play games that can be experienced at any level of depth that you wish, basically. It's a container for that.
Yeah. And another thing I love about intimate relating games is that we put such a big emphasis on nonverbal communication. Yeah, we really take you through a whole experience of communicating through body language, reading energy, feeling.
So it's
Yeah.
good for singles and for couples. Tantric
Okay.
Temple Night, what am I in store for here?
Oh, what are you in store for at
Store for
Tantric
me,
Temple
yeah.
Night? So, Tantric Temple Night is a very classical exploration of tantric practice. So, everything is done in partners. There's an element of chanting, of meditation, of guided partner practice. There's also some neo-tantric play around sacred power play, different dynamics in that. But Tantric Temple Night is just very classical. Like there's the invitation to dress in white or red, whether you're in a masculine body or in a
So a
feminine
little
body.
more of the woo in this.
There's definitely a lot of the woo-woo. I
A
mean, we're
lot of woo.
starting
Okay,
the night
cool.
out with chanting, and so
Cool.
it's for people who have never practiced tantra before, who have never been to yoga before, this is going to be a little out there for them.
Mm, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. And then so is tantric speed dating the most PG kind of like version of these three right now? Or
Tantra speed
it's like
dating,
yes and no.
yes and no. I think Intimate Relating Games Night has an element of PG to
Yeah.
it. I mean, you can bring a
Yeah.
spiciness to it by
Yeah,
the
you're
end of
right.
the night. But Tantra Speed Date is really an introduction to tantric practice without getting too much into the woo-woo. Whereas
Yeah.
in the Tantric Temple Night is like we're taking you deep into what Tantra is.
Yeah.
And Intimate Relating Games Night is Tantra without using any classical or neo-tantric practices, but relating in a deep and meaningful way, which is what Tantra is really about.
Which has the potential to get the like sexiest, would you say, or like if that's what someone's looking for,
Oh,
you know?
I would say that Intimate Relating Games Night has that
Isn't that
potential.
interesting? It's like we
Yeah, I
just
know
said it's
it's
the most PG
PG
on one hand, but you're right. I agree.
because the way that we take them through the process, like in the end, it can get really juicy if you're willing to
Yes.
like ask for what you really want and
Yes.
play around with the consent and boundaries in a safe place. And I think Tantric Temple Night also is pretty juicy because the classical tantric practices of eye gazing and tantric massage, and that we do some sacred power play, which can get a little spicy as well. So I think those two are the juiciest.